If you want to transform your life in the next 6 months, you need to start making these bold changes today. Think about it. 6 months from now, you could be living a completely different life. A life where you feel empowered, confident, and unstoppable. But here's the catch. That change doesn't happen by accident. It starts with intentional decisions, even if they're difficult. Are you ready to cut ties with toxic relationships, embrace discomfort, and commit to becoming the best version of yourself? This isn't just another motivational talk. This is about taking action. Real steps that will help you unleash your potential and transform your future. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to guide you through 6 powerful shifts that will help you change your mindset, your environment, and your life. So if you're ready to stop waiting for the perfect time and start taking control, let's dive in. Number 1. Cutting ties with toxic people. A bold act of self-love. Have you ever found yourself smiling with the wrong people, pretending everything is okay when deep down you feel drained? Maybe you've been in a room filled with laughter, yet you feel alone, misunderstood, unvalued, and unseen. Toxic relationships aren't always obvious. Sometimes they start as friendships, as family connections, or even romantic relationships that seemed perfect at first. But then, slowly, they take more from you than they give. They leave you questioning your worth and doubting yourself. It's subtle, yet powerful, like a storm that doesn't come with thunder, but quietly erodes everything in its path. Think about the last time you wanted to share good news with someone, but you held back because you knew they wouldn't celebrate with you. Maybe you've heard phrases like, "That's great, but don't get ahead of yourself," or "You're lucky, not everyone has that chance." Words like these chip away at your confidence. They make you feel small, even when you're standing tall. You convince yourself, they're just being honest. Maybe they're right. But deep down, you know, they're not being honest. They're being toxic. We all know what it's like to hold on to people simply because they've been in our lives for a long time. They've been there since day one, you tell yourself. Or maybe it's family, and the guilt of walking away feels heavier than the burden of staying. But let me ask you something. Is that weight worth your peace of mind? Do you remember a time when you were younger, maybe 18 or 25, and the world seemed full of possibilities? Your dreams were big, your ambitions were endless. You believed anything was possible, and you didn't let anyone stop you. What happened? Where did that version of you go? Toxic relationships can be silent killers of that dreamer within you. They keep you stuck, not because they have power over you, but because you allow them to take space in your life. Imagine this. Your life is like a garden. Each relationship is either a flower or a weed. Flowers bloom, bringing color and beauty. They nurture the space around them. But weeds choke the life out of everything good. They spread, taking up room where something beautiful could grow. And the sad truth is, weeds will always thrive if you let them. You might be curious now. How do I cut them off? How do I know it's time? Here's the thing. You already know. That gut feeling you've been ignoring, that's your answer. The person you're thinking about right now. That's who's holding you back. Cutting ties isn't about punishment or revenge. It's about self-love. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I deserve better. You are worthy of relationships that lift you up, that cheer for you when you win, and that hold you when you fall. And the moment you realize that, you'll feel a kind of freedom you haven't felt in years. Take a moment to imagine what your life could look like without those toxic influences. Picture waking up and feeling light, excited for the day ahead, because no one's holding you down anymore. That version of your life exists. You just have to be bold enough to take the first step. Number 2. Embracing discomfort, the path to growth and transformation. Discomfort. It's a word we all know, yet most of us spend our lives avoiding it. We stay in our comfort zones because they're familiar, because they're safe. But what if I told you that everything you want in life, the success, the happiness, the fulfillment, exists on the other side of discomfort? It sounds simple, doesn't it? Step out, push through, and grow. But in reality, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Let's talk about growth. Think back to when you were a kid learning how to ride a bike. Do you remember that fear, that nervousness? You probably fell a few times. Maybe you scraped your knees and cried, but you got back up because deep down you knew that falling was part of the process. And then one day, it clicked. You pedaled, you balanced, and you soared. That moment felt like freedom. Why? Because you pushed through discomfort. You didn't let fear stop you. Now, let's fast forward to adulthood. Somewhere along the way, we stopped embracing that discomfort. We started choosing easy over growth. We avoid new challenges because we're afraid of failing. We stay in jobs we hate because the thought of change is terrifying. We give up on our dreams because the effort feels too big. But let me ask you this. Are you really living, or are you just existing? Are you staying in your comfort zone because it's safe, or because it's what you've convinced yourself you deserve? It's easy to look at successful people and think, they're lucky, they have it all figured out. But what you don't see are the countless moments of discomfort they pushed through to get there. The nights spent working when everyone else was sleeping, the risks they took when everyone told them to play it safe, the failures that taught them lessons no success ever could. You might be wondering now, what if I fail? What if I fall flat on my face? But here's the truth. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Every mistake, every setback, every uncomfortable moment is a stepping stone to something greater. Do you remember a time when you wanted something so badly it kept you up at night? Maybe it was starting your own business, going back to school, or pursuing a passion you buried years ago. What stopped you? Was it fear of discomfort? Was it the voice in your head saying, "What if I'm not good enough?" That voice isn't you. That voice is your comfort zone, and it's lying to you. Imagine where you could be 6 months from now if you stopped avoiding discomfort and started embracing it. Picture yourself stronger, wiser, and more confident because you chose growth over ease. Discomfort is a sign that you're breaking through barriers. It's proof that you're moving forward. So, the next time you feel that uneasy feeling in your chest, don't run from it. Lean into it. Let it be a reminder that you're on the path to something bigger. Number 3, the power of bold decisions and unwavering commitment. Every life-changing moment starts with a decision, a bold, decisive act that shifts your path forever. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as saying, enough is enough. Enough settling, enough waiting, enough holding back. Bold decisions are the difference between a life you settle for and a life you're proud of. Think about the last time you made a big decision. Maybe it was leaving a toxic job, ending a relationship, or moving to a new city. It wasn't easy, was it? Your mind was probably filled with doubt. Am I doing the right thing? What if this doesn't work out? But you did it anyway, and looking back, you're glad you did. That's the power of bold decisions. They're scary at first, but they lead to growth, change, and transformation. The truth is, most people never make those decisions. They stay where they are, not because they're happy, but because they're afraid. Afraid of failure, of judgment, of the unknown. But the people who achieve greatness, they don't let fear stop them. They don't wait for the perfect moment because they know it doesn't exist. They decide, and they commit, fully, fiercely, and without hesitation. Have you ever set a goal only to give up a few weeks later? Maybe you told yourself, "I'll start next Monday," or "This time I'll stick with it." But somewhere along the way, you lost focus. It's not because you're weak or incapable. It's because commitment is hard. It requires discipline, consistency, and a willingness to show up even when you don't feel like it. Think about a time when you achieved something you were proud of. Maybe you finished a big project, reached a fitness goal, or saved up for something meaningful. Do you remember how it felt? The pride, the satisfaction, the realization that you did it. That's what happens when you commit. You prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. Now imagine this. 6 months from now, you look back and realize that one bold decision changed everything. What would that decision be for you? What's the thing you've been putting off because it feels too big, too risky, or too uncertain? Let yourself get curious. What if I go all in? What if I don't quit this time? What could my life look like if I commit fully? Number 4, surround yourself with positivity and like-minded individuals. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt at ease? The energy is good, the people are kind, and you don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. Now, compare that to walking into a space where you feel judged, where every word you speak is weighed and every action criticized. The difference between those two rooms is the people inside them, the energy they bring, and the way they make you feel. The truth is, who you surround yourself with determines so much about your life, your mindset, your motivation, and even your success. If you've ever heard the phrase, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," then you know this isn't just an idea, it's a reality. Think about your closest relationships right now. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? Do these people encourage your dreams, or do they shoot them down before you even get started? It's a hard question to ask, but it's necessary. When you surround yourself with positivity, everything changes. Positivity doesn't mean toxic optimism where problems are ignored. It means surrounding yourself with people who believe in solutions, people who see you fail and say, "You've got this, try again." People who hear your dreams and don't laugh but instead ask, "How can I help you get there?" Those are the individuals who make you feel alive, who make you want to keep going, even when things get tough. Now, think back to a time in your life when someone believed in you. Maybe it was a teacher who saw your potential when you didn't. Maybe it was a friend who pushed you to take a risk. Or maybe it was a mentor, a coach, or even a stranger whose words stayed with you. That belief had power. It changed you, didn't it? That's the magic of being surrounded by the right people. They give you the energy to believe in yourself, even on days when it feels impossible. On the flip side, let's talk about negativity. Negative people can drain you without you even realizing it. It's like being in a room full of smoke. You don't notice how bad it is until you step outside and take a breath of fresh air. Think about the people in your life who always focus on what's wrong, who say things like, "You'll never make it," or "Why even bother?" Maybe they don't say it out loud, but their energy tells you everything. That energy? It's contagious, and it holds you back more than you realize. So, how do you find your people? How do you surround yourself with positivity? Start by seeking out like-minded individuals who are on the same journey as you. Join communities, find mentors, and connect with people who share your vision. They're out there, waiting for you to show up. It might be an online group, a local workshop, or even a new circle of friends you haven't met yet. And when you find them, you'll know, because you'll feel it. That sense of belonging, that motivation to push harder, and that belief that you're not alone. Imagine 6 months from now being part of a group that inspires you, a group that celebrates your wins, supports you in your struggles, and reminds you of your worth. That's the kind of environment you deserve to be in. And when you find it, you'll realize something powerful. Life feels different when you're surrounded by the right people. Number 5. Celebrate progress. Small steps lead to big victories. When was the last time you celebrated yourself? Not for something massive, but for a small win, a step forward that you took, no matter how small it seemed. Most of us spend so much time focused on where we want to go that we forget to appreciate how far we've already come. And in doing that, we rob ourselves of the motivation to keep going. Life is made up of small moments, tiny victories that add up to something extraordinary. Think about it. When a baby learns to walk, do they take their first step and then run a marathon? Number. They stumble, they fall. But every tiny step forward is celebrated with cheers, claps, and endless encouragement. Somewhere along the way, we stopped celebrating our small wins. We became too hard on ourselves, expecting perfection instead of progress. Maybe you're working on a big goal right now, something that feels overwhelming. You're looking at the finish line and thinking, how will I ever get there? But let me remind you, progress doesn't happen overnight. It's a series of small, intentional steps, and every step forward, no matter how small, matters. Maybe you saved $100 toward your financial goal. Maybe you learned one new skill this week. Or maybe you finally said no to something that didn't serve you. These moments might not feel life-changing, but they are, because they're proof that you're moving forward. Let's get nostalgic for a moment. Do you remember learning something new as a kid? Maybe it was reading, playing an instrument, or learning to swim. At first, it was hard, frustrating even. But every day you got a little better. And one day, you realized you could do it. You didn't get there by focusing on perfection. You got there by showing up step by step. That same principle applies now, whether you're chasing a career goal, improving your health, or transforming your mindset. Here's the truth. If you wait to celebrate until you've made it, you'll never feel satisfied. Because the finish line keeps moving. That's the beauty of growth. There's always another level to reach. So instead of waiting, celebrate now. Celebrate the effort, the progress, and the moments that prove you're not giving up. Take a moment to think about what you've accomplished in the past 6 months. Maybe it doesn't seem like much, but I promise, there's something worth celebrating. And when you celebrate yourself, something powerful happens. You build momentum. You remind yourself that you're capable. You create the motivation to keep going. So, what small win can you celebrate today? What step forward did you take that deserves recognition? Give yourself that moment. Because every small step is a victory, and every victory brings you closer to the life you want. Number 6. Your next 6 months. Unleash your potential and transform your life. 6 months. That's all it takes to change your life in ways you never thought possible. It might not seem like a lot of time, but think about this. Where could you be if you fully committed to your goals for just half a year? Picture it. A version of you that's stronger, wiser, more confident, and thriving in ways you can't yet imagine. Right now, you might be feeling stuck. Maybe you've been waiting for the right time to start. You tell yourself, I'll begin when things calm down, when I have more time, or when I feel ready. But here's the truth. There is no perfect time. There's only now. Every day you wait is a day you're delaying your potential. Think about the last time you told yourself you'd start next week. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. How many opportunities have you let slip by because you were waiting? What if 6 months ago you had taken action? Where would you be today? Now flip that thought. Where could you be 6 months from now if you start today? That's the beauty of this moment. You're not too late. You're right on time. It starts with a decision, a single moment where you decide that you're ready for change, ready to show up for yourself, ready to take the first step, no matter how small, whether it's cutting toxic ties, developing new skills, or chasing a long-lost dream. The next 6 months are your opportunity to prove to yourself what's possible. Imagine looking back 6 months from now, seeing the progress you've made, and realizing you're living a life you're proud of. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And every day you show up, you're one step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. Would you like me to adjust or expand on any sections further? Let me know. This script is designed to emotionally resonate and build momentum toward your viewers' transformation. If you've made it this far, you're already proving that you're not like everyone else. You're showing that you're ready to take control of your life, face challenges head-on, and commit to becoming the best version of yourself. The journey won't always be easy, but the rewards of growth, fulfillment, and transformation are worth every step. Remember, 6 months from now, you could look back and realize this was the moment everything changed. Drop a 100 in the comments if you've watched until the end. This proves you're part of the rare 0.01% who actually finish what they start. If you're serious about transforming your life and staying on this path of growth, make sure to join our community by subscribing to the channel. This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see the incredible progress you'll make. Let's build this journey together.